Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests, and happy FOMO Friday. We actually aren't seeing too much FOMO in the markets on this fine Friday, but we do still have a green market, so that is good to see. Today I want to talk to you guys about a few things. I want to start off by talking about DogeCoin with you guys, because we have been absolutely sending to the moon in the past few days, and it is fantastic to see. My only regret is that I did not buy more when I had the chance at 6 cents. Nevertheless, I'm still happy about it, and if we come down, there's an opportunity there, in my opinion. So we'll see about that. We'll talk about that, and then I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about Very Good Food Company, what's going on there. Yes, I'm still holding my shares. And then finally, I want to talk to you guys about Hillcrest Energy Technologies, of course, what's going on there. We got some news on April 14th as well, so that is all good. But we're going to start off by talking about Doge. As we all know, we were about at 6 cents 2 weeks ago, and since then have just been skyrocketing. We were up to 34 cents US, about 43 cents Canadian. And it's great. It's fantastic. You know, I bought DogeCoin at 6 cents and have been holding. If you guys are wondering how to buy cryptocurrencies, you can take a look at the link down in the description. Get ShakePay, and then you can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. You also get free Bitcoin when you shake your phone every day. And then if you're looking to trade other cryptocurrencies, you can go on Exodus. You can download the app called Exodus and basically transfer your Bitcoin over from ShakePay to Exodus, and then transfer your Bitcoin into other cryptocurrencies. That's how I like to do it. That's the easiest method, in my opinion, to do that. But let's just go into a little bit about what the plan is now, right? We're at, all-time highs here, very all-time highs, and we've been going straight up basically for the past 3 days. So what to do now? Do you sell some profits, wait for a little bit of a dip, buy back in potentially? And I was thinking that, but it's interesting because the DogeCoin exchanges right now, at least for some wallets, etc., are down right now. On Exodus, I can't buy or sell any of my Dogecoins, and that might be a little bit of an issue. If we look back kind of what happened with AMC GME and Robinhood, it really wasn't good for the market, and obviously it's not good for the market, less access as well that it gives you. So some definite problems that come with that. In terms of whether or not you should sell, that's another issue, and we can look at kind of this tweet that I sent out earlier today. And basically it says, are you selling some profits in $1 Doge, right? And there's yes, a big dip coming, or no, hodl for life. And 63% of people, although there's only 55 votes, so keep that in mind, right? Pretty small data set here with 55 votes, but still 63% of people are saying no. You got to hodl for life, right? And so that's what I'm doing, partially because of that, partially because you cannot sell or buy. And with that, obviously, comes part of the reason why we may have seen a continued run in Bitcoin, or in Dogecoin, right? Obviously, it started from the Coinbase IPO. And since then, we just have not looked back. But the similar thing happened with HEAT, right? If we take a look at HEAT, we'll go over here. We had this huge run in HEAT, basically from the 7th, right, up until here. And at that point, people couldn't sell their Hillcrest Petroleum shares. They could only sell their recently acquired HEAT shares if they bought HEAT, after the name change, ticker change. But all those shares before, which are the Hillcrest Petroleum shares, you couldn't trade them, right? And we saw this kind of huge run from that. And then people were able to trade again. We came down, their Hillcrest Petroleum shares, right? We came back up, and then now we've just kind of continually come down as everyone is now able to kind of trade those Hillcrest Petroleum shares, which are now HEAT shares, on the open market. And so that's kind of why I think we saw like a part of this run, not obviously the whole thing, but right around the 0.34 level, I think really people were willing to kind of sell some of their profits, but couldn't. And so we kind of just saw this continued run, and now we're kind of back at a normalized level. I don't think we'll go too much below the 0.3 level, to be honest. We had that other news on the Systematec deal there. And so basically, even with the Systematec deal that came out right here, and we had this little bit of a run, we actually started to drop from that. So even with new news, we actually came down a little bit more because people were again able to sell their shares. Now, is a similar thing happening with DogeCoin? That is a possibility for sure. Now, again, I don't think we're ever going to kind of, or not for a while, kind of come back to the 0.25 level, if at all. But I do kind of see us coming down a little bit from these kind of all-time highs here. Again, with a similar thing where people can't sell or buy in certain wallets on certain platforms here. But again, similar to kind of heat here, we're not going to come back down to anywhere around here, and I actually think that the 0.3 is a pretty solid base for heat right now, especially with that Systematec deal, and we'll go through that in just a second here as well. Very good food company though too is one that I wanted to mention for a few reasons. First of all, it's crazy that we've been coming down because they moved to the TSXV, right, from the CSE, and they were hoping that that would increase their share price, and what it actually ended up doing is they came down heavily from that. But we are seeing a little bit of recovery on the 6th of April, which was around right here. We did get some news that they basically commissioned their first production line at the Vancouver facility, so that is in motion now, which is great. They also delivered a new sales record later in March here, and so I do find it very, very shocking that we're coming down rather than up here, but I guess we were just kind of at a very overpriced level, and I did say that at the $9 way back that we were overpriced and we would come down, but I never thought it would be really to this low of a level. That being said, I do think we're going to see a nice recovery here in general. And we are getting some good news there. So anyways, Hillcrest, I do want to get into this Systematec deal with you guys. And so here it is right here. Now this came out on the 14th of April, day after I filmed my last video, saying we will probably get some more news. And it's a little bit interesting that we've actually come down on this news, because if we take a look here, we can see that Systematec is a German specialist engineering innovator and component designer to Airbus, Audi, BMW, Continental, Volvo Truck Corporation, and other hybrid auto/electric vehicle and electric equipment manufacturers. So they've already got some big partners here that will potentially be using Hillcrest technology here moving forward. Of course, there's still plenty of testing to be done. Commercialization is still a far way out. Don't get me wrong, but if we take a look at Extro at the 4 point whatever dollar price right now that we're at, and we see deals like this already coming through for Hillcrest, it wouldn't really surprise me to see a similar price to Extro as or a similar price that we would see for Hillcrest, like what we see for Extro Technologies, right? Even already before commercialization here. So do keep that in mind, but of course, again, like I'm saying, still a ways out. This is what Systematec's CEO says here. Teaming up with Hillcrest opens access to innovation paths and commercialization opportunities not previously available to our company. Working with Hillcrest to combine their proven control software technology with Systematec's demonstrated expertise in power electronics and electrical component design unlocks potential to innovate, design, and produce new high-value products for EV and other industry customers. So essentially a little bit reiterating what we know from up here with who they work with, right? High value EV components, which they're looking to put into EVs, other motors, etc. This I thought was a very interesting point here, and it kind of goes back to one of the first videos I did on Hillcrest Petroleum, back when that's what its name was, about how it kind of actually complements the hydrogen industry. Because at first, when I was first looking at Hillcrest, I thought it was kind of going against the hydrogen industry, etc. But what we see here is it really is geared towards kind of helping all these clean energy technologies because they're going to make them more efficient. We can see right here, potential opportunities include electric inverters for high performance electric drive systems, very similar to Exro here, DC to DC converters to enable widespread application of fuel cells in trucks and heavy machinery, which, as we know, is a very growing industry right now, that the fuel cell EVs, right? And other emerging requirements that serve growing global market needs. So, in general here, Systematec is really giving Hillcrest the opportunity to work with some very, very big partners here, like, the ones mentioned up here, and potentially others too, with their, increase in innovative design, their increase in technology here that they get from working with these engineers at Systematec, and just opening those doors for those bigger partnerships there. So really, really good news here, actually, in my opinion. So now what does Systematec get out of it, right? Well, they get 2.75 million common shares and then another 2 million warrants based on at 0.24 per share, based on the performance of kind of Systematec and their collaboration there. So that is actually very interesting too, because it really incentivizes as well Systematec to kind of develop this commercialization and get the pretty big revenues from that. So that's great. And kind of going off of that incentivizing factor there, what's really interesting, I find, is that Ari Berger, right? And it doesn't say that in this article, but Ari Berger, I don't believe ever had any Exro shares, and he actually just worked on a salary essentially basis there. But for Hillcrest, he got paid for his technology and also received 6 million shares. And now works as their CTO, right? So that really incentivizes Ari Berger as well to kind of really get this technology going, moving to commercialization, etc. And so he's got much more of kind of a vested interest here with Hillcrest Energy Technologies than he ever really had with Exro. And that really means quite a lot, because it shows that Ari Berger really believes in Hillcrest here. And the bigger the company grows, the more money he's going to make. So, a big incentivizer here for Ari Berger, a big incentivizer here for Systematec deal. And yeah, I really think Hillcrest is moving in the right direction. We may even see, commercialization with a partner like Systematec here, and not be too far down the road. So do keep all of that in mind. And other than that, that's really going to do it for the video today, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your FOMO Friday. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend, and watch out for Doge. If we see a bit of a drop, I don't know, I might be buying a little bit more. We'll see. And that is obviously also dependent on the exchanges, the Doge exchanges, and whether they open back up soon. So that's going to do it. Enjoy the weekend.